What is up, everyone? Welcome to the channel. I'm Unclear, and today we're talking a new Battlefield game that has been announced that it's going to be in development and around the corner. I would probably say 2026, 2027, if I'm going to be honest. I would love a 2025 release date if they've been working on this behind the scenes, but you never know. So we're going to go through the article today. This was pointed out by a few friends of mine, and as someone who's been playing Battlefield for 17 years at least, I look forward to seeing what's going on here. I remember playing Battlefield 1942 in high school on the old PC, and I got home and just having LAN parties. That was fantastic times. So, ahead of its Investor Day on September 17th, EA revealed fresh details on its untitled Battlefield game alongside its first officially concept art. This should be officially announced, I think, which IGN can exclusively reveal for the first time, which is the one above. IGN can also confirm that Battlefield will be returning to a modern setting after its stints at World War 1, 2, and the near future. So we're going to like a more, Battlefield like Bad Company style? Or we go Battlefield 3 and 4 style? I would like a Bad Company style. I think Bad Company 2 was peak, and then Battlefield 3 was shortly following that. I think there's still Battlefield 4 on PC, and there's still people playing. It's fantastic. While EA is cagey about specifics when it comes to the concept art, including declining the name of the city where it's set, they say it looks like a lot like Italy, France, somewhere in Europe. It does include details that should stand out to longtime fans of the series. Among other things, it appears to suggest that ship-to-ship and helicopter combat will be part of the new game, and it will feature a natural disaster like wildfires. Its greyish colour scheme is evocative of Battlefield 4, which remains one of the most popular games in the series despite being released a decade ago. It's 10 years ago since Battlefield 4. Oh. They might try a BR again. That was the Hellfire. Remember the Hellfire from the Battlefield? They did their Battle Royale style. They probably will try, if extraction shooters are still a thing, they might do an extraction shooter again. But I reckon they should just stick to the core rush, conquest, big team rush, big team closes, and just elimination, like standard thing. Because that's what we want. Big 128 versus 128 players, helicopter ships, snipers, spotters, scouts, the whole. That's what we want as Battlefield fans. That's what we want in this series. Alrighty, let's continue the article. Battlefield goes back to basics. All of it points to a back to basics approach for the next Battlefield. Indeed, head of Respawn and Group GM for EA Studios organization Vince Zampaglia, sorry if I butchered your name, Vince, is quick to shout out Battlefield 3 and 4 in the course of sitting down with IGN to talk about the new reveals. Yeah, see. On the decision to return to the modern era, Zampaglia says, I mean, if you look back to the peak of the pinnacle of Battlefield, it's Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 era, which honestly is, where everything was modern. I think we have to get back to the core of what Battlefield is, and to do that amazingly well, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But I think for me, it's that peak Battlefieldness that is in that Battlefield 3 and 4 days. So I think for the nostalgic players, for me, for the teams even, there's a kind of the heyday, although I'd say 1942 also. That's a long sentence. So yeah, he's just saying we're going to return back to that. I wouldn't have said 42, I would have said Bad Company. I think Bad Company and Battlefield 3. I think Battlefield 4 really just took over because everything became a bit cleaner. Battlefield 3 to 4 wasn't such a big jump in my opinion. For some players it was a massive jump, but when you go from Bad Company to Battlefield 3, that was a big jump. Then Battlefield 4 just kind of took what Battlefield 3 had and made it slightly cleaner. Although I played a lot of Battlefield 4 and I love that game too. Absolutely. EM416, 1911 pistol, medic, that is me. I'm running out there across the field, trying to res you, trying to drop those med packs and cover. That's my job, that's what I do. Alrighty. The return to the modern setting represents a course correction for the series after Battlefield 2042. Now I have to say, Battlefield 2042, not a good game, still feels good to play. They can be separate. The game itself is kind of boring and bland, but it still, for me, really has that Battlefield, you know, that ting, ting, ting shot to it. You know, those shots still feel nice. They still got that nice feeling. The game itself is but the game feels good, which is why I think people still play it. Like, I can still load up and still get games. Like, yeah, let's say here, which eventually found its footing, but otherwise was widely panned for features like Specialist. Characters may seem as if Battlefield was trying to be a hero shooter. It's ambitious 128 for the map, also provided yeah. They kind of yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna stick to 64v64. I think 128 is a bit ambitious. But I think you should always have that option. You should have big team rush where you have tanks, and instead of having like 3 tanks, have 10 tanks. There can be 10 tanks on a field, you know, instead of just 1 tank that one dude has. But we'll see. And then here, big quote. Yeah, I'd rather have a nice, dense, really nice, well-designed play spaces. Some of them are really good. Okay. And then here's a quote. I don't know who said this. I was in Impelia. Yeah, the 128 player did make it more fun. Like doing it, yeah, like doing the number for the sake of the number doesn't make any sense. We're testing everything around what's the most fun. So like you said, the maps, once they get to a certain scale, became different. And that is true. It's a different play space. I think you have to design around that. So we're designing something that is more akin to previous Battlefields, Impelia says. I'd rather have nice, dense, really nice, well-designed play spaces. Some of them are really good, but I can't wait for you to see some of them. Specialists are also out this time around. So I wasn't there for 2042. I don't know what the rationale was, but for me, it's like team try something new. You have to applaud the effort. Not everyone liked it, but you got to try things. It didn't work, it didn't fit. Specialists will not be coming back. So classes are the core of Battlefield, and we're going back to that, simply it says. It's so true. Medic, recon, support, engineer. That's what you need in Battlefield. So I want you guys to comment down below. What are you picking? For me, I was recon, or I was assault. Technically it was because assault, but it is technically the medic. But they went, I think, yeah, the medic used LMGs more than anything. The assault class ended up using the ammo and using the M4116, which is my favorite water rifle in the game. So yeah, depends on what you would play with, but you definitely had, I know players, like my old man and I used to play this together when I was growing up, and he was always an engineer, always with an RPG. I guarantee he had an RPG on him at all times. It's all he ever used. So yeah, so it's assault, which these are my guesses. Assault, support, which is usually like your healer. That's the medic. Support was medic, but they might go back to a medic. Recon, which is your sniper class, recon class. And then you had your engineer, which is repairing vehicles, destroying vehicles, throwing 18 mines, which, back in the day, if you guys remember, I need a tangent of this again. The UAV C4, I used to do that in Bad Company 2. You used to sit and spawn with your little recon, because you get C4 in the recon class. Get your engineer mate, or your other recon mate, instructor C4 on, and you would fly it over to their base and just land it on a building and just destroy the building and try and kill them inside. It was fantastic. It was so much fun. Or you do it on the ATV, so you just throw the C4 on the ATV and just drive it into tanks and blow them up. So many good memories. He is careful to stress that Battlefield 2042 wasn't a failure of a game, despite not doing so well as hoped. He notes that the development team really spent a lot of time learning how to adapt it and get these things back. Still, EA doesn't want to repeat the experience they had with 2032. We want to be good out of the gate. It's just so true. I said, Battlefield 2042 is not a good Battlefield game, but it is a good game. If you remove the Battlefield part and just call it Warfare, or whatever you want to call it, or just shoot stuff space, it was actually a fantastic game. I still think it played really well. I think the mechanics of the game felt nice, but it just wasn't a Battlefield audience game. I really do think it's the way. And following it down, it adds up to what one might call the classic Battlefield, but bigger. Big enough that it merits the effort of 4 separate studios in DICE, Motive, Ripple Effect, and Criterion. Ridgeline Games was briefly part of it before being shuttered after Peter Marcus Ledger's departure. EA CEO Andrew Wilson claims it to be one of the most ambitious projects in EA's history. Ooh! Oh, making my nipples tingle. Nevertheless, the Impelia remains vague on what all of this actually entails. Yeah, it's definitely bigger on the Battlefield. It's going in and expanding what Battlefield is. We have the core. The core Battlefield players know what they want. They've been with us forever. Yeah, we have. They've been amazing supporters. We need to earn their trust back and get them back on our side. And then it's expanding out and getting more players into the universe and seeing what we can do. So when you want a different experience, you don't have to leave Battlefield. You can experience more things within the Battlefield universe. So we're expanding the offerings that we're giving. Wow. The road ahead for Battlefield. In the meantime, Activision Blizzard is planning to release Call of Duty 6, Battlefield's traditional competitor, where Battlefield has stumbled. Call of Duty has largely continued to thrive. It begs the question, will Battlefield ever outside Call of Duty? If you look at the best Battlefields, have outside some Call of Duties and other way around. Back and forth. So I think it's absolutely can. No? Yeah. I mean, it's what we're going for. I mean, it's not directly, but always. We're not looking to take down Call of Duty. We're making something that's different, and we're making something that's us. But yeah, it definitely has the possibility. That's true. Call of Duty and Battlefield kind of live side by side. They do have different player bases. Like if you played Battlefield, you never really played Call of Duty, and you've played Call of Duty, you never really played Battlefield. There's people like myself who played both. But I do think the way you play Battlefield and the way you play Call of Duty is so different that they don't really compete, but they live in the same space. Like if you want a small arena shooter, you just getting kills, having kill streaks, having a really good time, like on maps like Nuketown, top of my head. You wouldn't want that in a Battlefield game. This doesn't work. The way you play Battlefield by supporting, holding a line, spotting, doesn't really translate across. So I think, though they do compete, they're not really in the same sphere. Like you can like both of these, and you can hate both of these, and you can like one or the other, and it's really just the same thing. I think they kind of, it's like Pepsi and Coke for me. Like the option is, would you like Call of Duty? It's would you like Call of Duty or would you like Battlefield? So you get another option in there. So it really plays to that. I myself am a Battlefield player. I prefer Battlefield to Call of Duty. But living in New Zealand, Call of Duty reigns supreme. So you'll find way more Call of Duty players living in New Zealand than you will Battlefield players living in New Zealand. It's just the way it is. And it goes, on the subject of pushing into the transmedia space, where franchises like The Last of Us and Fallout have thrived, later taking on Impelia Demers. I don't know what this part is. There's definitely opportunities there. We've had some discussions, but it's not our core business. To me, that stuff, when it works, is super cool. Like Arcane was fucking great, but there are other ones that haven't worked well, and I won't name those, but you know what they are. He says it's a marketing opportunity, getting your franchise out there, and it's not to the core what we're doing right now. So we're a game first that has to work, and if the right opportunity comes, absolutely, we'll look at it. And do we take meetings all the time? Sure, but it's not the core business. So it's the balance. I would love to see it. Right now, I don't look at anything like that for Battlefield. Did I miss like a sentence somewhere? Okay, I guess they're just talking about the LGBT community. And yeah, I mean, you're a soldier. If it has story elements that are relevant to what's going on, that's cool to have in there. To know your medic likes dudes or likes girls, that's irrelevant to the game. It doesn't having it in there, having it there, I think it downplays that the community. I think you really need to either have it in a meaningful way or just not have it at all, because it doesn't make any relative sense. And I honestly think the way they put it is really good. That we're trying to make a really good game. If it makes sense to do it, we'll do it. If it doesn't make sense to do it, then it's just not a discussion we're having. Which I think is the best way to go about it. I think it's yeah. I think it's the best way. This is a really nice way of saying, hey, not looking at it, but if it's relevant to what is going to be happening, cool. If it's not relevant, then it's not relevant. And I think it's just a fantastic way of doing this sort of stuff. Because they make their point clear as a company, but gaming space is different again. So really well written, really well done. But if you guys think anything different, let me know in the comments down below. Because yeah, I think Warner Brothers with Harry Potter did probably the worst. Yeah, I think the way they did that was terrible. Some games have done it fantastic, like Overwatch. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's unclear when the next Battlefield will release, but there are signs that EA ramped up for 2025, having entered full production earlier this year. According to Zampelia, EA is playtesting the game every week and plans to launch a community program next year, although it's unclear if a closed beta or something else. Wow. Okay. So yeah, that is the news on Battlefield. Let me know if you are excited for it. Let me know if you are hyped for it. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you feel. If you have any questions, queries, or concerns, always comment them down below. I'm always happy to help out where I can and discuss things where I can. And if you're just a Battlefield fan, let me know down below what your best Battlefield moment was. And if you want to tag me in your shorts, your TikTok clips, whatever, you can do that. I'm more than happy to watch it and leave a comment for you to see what was going on in those clips. Anyway, I'll say thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, stay safe, take care, bye for now.